any driver, the first victory is always special, particularly when it comes in your home state. That was the case for South Boston, Virginia's Jeff Burton in 1990 at Martinsville.
Kimberly, he did it!
I knew it! I knew it! I knew he could do it! Can I go over there? I gotta give him a big kiss!
Is this the most exciting day of your life?
The ultimate! The ultimate!
Not only did he have the quickest Busch Grand National car, he had the fastest fiancée as well. After graduation in the Winston Cup ranks, the thrill of that first victory returned last week in Texas for Jeff and now wife Kim Burton. Last August here at Bristol, Jeff Fuller celebrated the birth of a baby along with his first career pole and series win. A year earlier, it was Steve Grissom who drove Gary Bechtel's Busch cars to the Bristol sweep. In 1997, Bechtel's dynamic duo has found success. Owensboro, Kentucky driver Jeff Green rolled the dice and claimed his first win in Vegas, while his impressive young gun teammate Elliott Sadler has been oh so very close. The season of first continued as short track ace Dick Trickle claimed NASCAR win #1 at Hickory. But aspiring hopefuls and veterans alike know this guy's the man to beat. Mark Martin's 4th win in 6 starts came last week in Texas. Get set for the Battle of Bristol Busch Series style from Thunder Valley. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today live from Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series More Snacks 250. After 8 events on a 30-race, $10 million tour, only 184 points separate the top 5, with Todd Bodine holding a slim 60-point lead over the 1996 Series champion, Randy LaJoie.
That's right, Jerry. Now, so far this season, the Sadler story in the Busch Series has been written by young Elliott. Hermie Sadler, the older, more veteran brother, has had an up-and-down season. But today, he's on the pole, and he's looking for a win. He has won in this series, but his last victory came 3 years ago at Orange County in North Carolina. But now he got some help from Curtis Markham, who took this car to a short track in North Carolina and tested it for Nashville. But what they learned in that test has helped Hermie win the pole here at Bristol, his 2nd career pole. Right next to him is Mike McLaughlin, another winner in the Busch Series. 1 win. It came at Dover almost 2 years ago. He got some help from Harry Gant, and he starts outside the front row. Those 2 guys looking to increase their victory total. Deep in the field is Mark Martin. He has 30 Busch Series wins. A win today would tie him with Jack Ingram for the all-time record of 31 wins in the NASCAR Busch Series, but he's had to have to come from way back to do it. Another guy buried deep in the field is the points leader, Todd Bodine. And for more on that, here's Kyle Petty.
Deep in the field is exactly right. He's 26th in this field. It's tough to start in the back and go to the front. You've got to work your way through traffic. I just found out one of the reasons he's back this far is as soon as qualifying was over yesterday, when he pulled on pit road, he had a flat right rear tire. That's definitely a disadvantage here at Bristol. But one thing that's not going to be a disadvantage for Todd Bodine is even though he's qualified this far back, he's leading the points. Therefore, he gets to choose, according to Busch rules, he gets to choose a pit on the front stretch. Pitting on the back stretch can be a definite disadvantage here at Bristol. He's going to have to be patient, work his way through traffic, and be real calm. And hopefully, if a caution comes early or these guys pit on the back stretch, he can pick up some of that. But it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a long day for Todd to get back to the front. Bill Weber?
And Kyle, this is a 42-car field. It's been expanded from when we were here a year ago. There are 21 pits along the front stretch. It's always been a traffic jam here during full field pit stops. We'll see more of that today. But you may see a small break in that because some guys that are deep in the field will be looking to pit early to try and pick up track position later in the race. Now, one guy that doesn't have to worry about track position too much is the guy we were talking about a minute ago, Hermie Sadler. Now, they had the motors fired. They've turned them off here for just a moment, so we'll lean in here and say, congratulations on a pole, Hermie. Welcome back.
Thank you, Bill. The big thing for us, we've got the best sponsor in the series in DeWalt, and they've been with us a long time, and we want them to start enjoying what we're doing here. And the pole is nice. We want to win this race today, so hope we can get it in, and we got a good car today, and it's all coming together now. If we can just run all the laps and show what we can do.
Big advantage for you starting up front, Hermie, especially here at Bristol.
Yeah, but Bristol's a tough racetrack. It's a track position track, and if you're going to win a pole, Bristol's a good place to do it. So we're proud of the guys, and they've all worked real hard, and all I got to do now is do my job, and we'll have a good day.
Hermie Sadler, guaranteed tough. We'll see how tough here at Bristol today. Now back up top to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. You know, today's Busch Series race marks the 30th time the Busch cars have come to Bristol, Tennessee since the series inception back in 1982. Now, the race was scheduled to green flag just a moment ago, right at 2 o'clock, but because of sprinkles in the area and now a little bit of a shower has moved across, they have shut the engines back off for a bit of a delay. But over the years, there have been 21 different winners in this race. In fact, 8 of the 21 winners are in today's field, led by Morgan Shepherd, who has won 4 times the most of any driver in Busch Series competition. Now, in keeping with our first-time winners in 1997, there are 17 drivers in this field today who have never won a Busch Grand National Series event. As you look at these drivers, remember, 3 of those 17 are starting in the top 10, Shane Hall, Stevie Reeves, and Mike Dillon. So a lot of young drivers aspiring to win, but Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett, what a tough place to break through here at Bristol.
Jerry, it's amazing that some drivers have won their first Busch Grand National race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway because it's one of the toughest on the circuit. Consider this, folks. A couple of weeks ago, they were at Darlington, always considered one of the toughest tracks there is to race on. Last week, they went to the new Texas Motor Speedway, and you've read and heard about how tough that racetrack was. It'll rank right up there with the toughest of them. And Bristol, I don't think there's any short track anywhere that's any tougher than this one, Benny.
And it's not only tough on the cars, it's tough on the drivers. I talked to Mark Krogh, a young man who's never been to Bristol before the other day, and I said, Tuesday morning, Mark, you will be in the fitness center. You'll be trying to figure out how you're going to get your neck stronger, how you're going to get your back stronger, because this racetrack, we talked about how tough it is. It's 36 degrees backing in the corner. It literally, when you go in the corner and turn that car, it wants to throw you out the right side. You have to hold yourself in the seat. The neck muscles really suffer. And the guys that have never won here before, and some of the drivers never been to Bristol before, they'll wish they'd been to the fitness center 2 weeks ago rather than this coming Tuesday.
Well, you talk about a tough racetrack, guys. Let me show you what is an ultra-modern Bristol Motor Speedway. Folks, this is the Rose Bowl of racetracks. Take a look. 118,000 seats. And tomorrow, for the Food City 500, every one of these seats will be filled, and there will be people standing around trying to get in and hoping they will build more. When we come back in August, folks, there'll be 130,000 seats at one of the most beautiful facilities in all of NASCAR. Back with more from Bristol after this. Stay with us. Our NASCAR Busch Grand National Series More Snacks 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by the more than 1,525 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Suzuki. The Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine. Well, the showers have run in the area. We are holding the start of this Busch Grand National Series race. Folks, we are going to take you back to tennis in Amelia Island, South Carolina, but don't change the channel. As soon as we get ready to fire the engines and race, we will be right back here in Bristol, Tennessee. So coming up, let's go back to Pam and Betsy, the Bosch Lom Championships, Amelia Island, South Carolina, and we'll be standing by right here in Thunder Valley for exciting Busch Series action in just a little while. Let's go to Amelia Island for tennis. Hello, everyone. Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, Kyle Petty, and Bill Weber standing by for exciting Busch Grand National Series action. The NASCAR trucks are on the track trying to get it dry. Let's check in trackside with Bill Weber and see how they're coming along. Bill?
Oh, they're working hard on it, Jerry, out there trying to dry the track. And here along the pit lane, we've got 42 cars ready to run in the More Snacks 250. On the pole is Hermie Sadler, looking for his first win in about 3 years. Next to him is Mike McLaughlin, looking for his first win in 2 years. Now, come on back here. There's a lot to be excited about in this race. Here's the car of Jeff Burton. He rolls off third. He won the Winston Cup race last week at Texas. On back here is the points leader, Randy LaJoy. He starts deep in this field. In fact, his best qualifying run for this race, 8th. He starts 8th. Further on back, Steve Park, Mark Martin, Jeff Fuller, and points leader Todd Bodine. A lot of talent, and you'll see some smashes in this race when we get going. But right now, back to tennis and that overhead smash, one of my favorite.
The track drying is all but complete here. They have removed the car covers from the race cars, and Bill, the drivers are in the seats.
And Jerry, that's the #1 sign you've been looking for. All the drivers have been called to their cars. Just a few moments ago, they fired the motors down here. Just a brief warm-up session for all the teams and for the cars. But right now, all 42 drivers are in their cars, and these guys in this line here have a huge advantage. The inside line at Bristol, all the guys in the outside lane are going to be trying to get over when they throw the green flag. And Jerry, that's not going to be long from now.
We'll be standing by for the green flag for the Morris Snacks 250. Meanwhile, let's go back to Amelia Island, Florida. Exciting Bausch & Lomb Tennis Championship action. Here's Pam and Betsy. ESPN, the worldwide leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. We welcome you back to the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of eastern Tennessee, site of the ultra-modern Bristol Motor Speedways in today's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Morris Snacks 250. Well, the rains have subsided. A 42-car field is on the racetrack, and we are set for exciting green flag action. Our Suzuki starting lineup, 42 cars will start, led by 27-year-old Hermie Sadler, her first pole of the 1997 season. Harris, Sadler, McLaughlin on the front row, a couple of Chevrolet drivers. Take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting. That's the top 15. Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett join us, and guys, this should be one well of a show.
A lot of cars, a lot of good cars starting 16 to 30th. We see Tim Steele, Phil Parsons, Tim Fedewa, Todd Bodine, points leader, back in 26th.
And it's a tough track to pass on, so those that are back in the back are going to have to be very careful, be very patient, but at the same time run very aggressively.
Let's check in down in the pits quickly with Bill Weber.
Couple of big stories down here, some surprises or disappointments really in qualifying. Guys like Todd Bodine are deep in the field, but because the Busch Series selects pits by points and not by qualifying for the top 10, Bodine and some of those others that had poor qualifying runs are pitted on the front stretch. That's critical. Also, this is a 42-car field. Used to not be that big. Not much room on the track, and now 21 pit stalls on the front stretch. Not much room here either. For more, let's go to Kyle Petty.
Not much room only in the pits. Not much room on the racetrack. These fields used to be shorter fields. NASCAR, because of the increase of money, because of the bigger teams, because of the multi-car teams, even in the Busch Series, there's more cars on the racetrack. As Bill said, a 42-car field is unheard of here. Most of the time, we used to run a 30-car field with a couple of provisionals. Then they went to 4 provisionals. Now they've gone to 38-car fields with 4 provisionals, champions provisionals. They've gone to put everybody out there before too much longer. But at a place like Bristol, you can get in trouble.
Well, Kyle, the racetrack is tight, but so was qualifying. 47 cars came here, 42 will start. Do the math, 5 go home. Lyndon Amick, Chris Diamond, yet Dale Jarrett didn't make the race. The car not running up to par during qualifying. Joey McCarthy and Ed Spencer, the third, driving for Jimmy Spencer. Those are the 5 cars that will not start today. Our in-car cameras, Phil Parsons always runs well here. The Channel Lock in-car camera in his Chevrolet. Bill Parsons won the very first Busch Series race held here back in the spring of 1982. Then it was called the Southeastern 150. Glad to have you with us here. Green flag racing action from Bristol, Tennessee, Thunder Valley, as they come roaring out of turn 4. Carl Simmons waves the green. Green flag. Quickly they get into single file, and Betty and Ned, that's exactly what you want to do in a very tough racetrack, at least early on, is get single file and get the car sorted out.
Well, the preferred line is the very bottom of the racetrack. We'll see these cars dive down on the very bottom of the racetrack. There's a car cut on the outside. That's the Elliott Sadler car, the 29, the black 29, and he's going backwards, Ned.
Yeah, he's losing positions. They go around this racetrack in about 16 seconds. Boy, that is fast around a half-mile track.
And with 42 cars starting, the guys first and the guys last aren't but about a quarter of a lap apart. There's the Elliott Sadler car you were talking about, right behind Elton Sawyer's car, number 38. Right in front of Lonnie Combs.
Finally got a break and got down on the inside.
'29 cars running the 29th
spot the last time by.
Hang with old Elton there. He'll take you to the front. You're doing a good job. Just keep riding.
Of course, here's the spotter, Keith Barnwell, for the 29 car of Elliott Sadler.
Then hang on to Elton Sawyer. He'll take you to the front. So the young driver in the car number 29 trying to get some experience.
Got one hung up high. Got one hung high.
And that one hung high is Nathan Butkin, car number 66, that he was talking about.
Now let's go back to the other Sadler, the 1 car, Hermie Sadler. And look, here comes Jeff Burton, the track gear car, closes up. And once again, this 9 car, folks, the last few Busch races he has run extremely fast.
Hermie Sadler being shown as the leader. He was the pole sitter. Track gear forward behind him, the same car that Jeff Burton ran at Richmond, where he started 41st, took the lead on lap 70. Same car he ran at Darlington, where he finished 3rd. And the same car he ran at Texas. In fact, the very same spring as they had at Texas. He makes a move or makes a look inside of Sadler, and Sadler slams the door.
Yeah, that car has been awfully fast. One of Jeff Burton, the car number 9. He looks again, but can't make the move. Hermie Sadler hugging that inside line. That's what he needs to do, is protect his territory.
Oh, Hermie almost went up the racetrack just enough for Jeff Burton to get under, but not quite.
They turned this racetrack in under 16 seconds. The pole was 15.86 seconds, so your eyes aren't deceiving. It's only a half a mile, but it's banked 36 degrees. So the average speed of a lap over 120 and almost 121 miles an hour in qualifying.
There we see the 34 car, Mike McLaughlin outside pole sitter there, 64 of Dick Trickle, and Jeff Green, the 8 car, the white number 8.
And they're going to be lapping cars here before too long. They're coming up on the 17 car. There's Dick Trickle.
Back up front, Hermie Sadler now. Maybe a car length, about a half a car length advantage, if that, over the car number 9 of Jeff Burton.
And we see directly in front of, and Burton's got a great run off the second corner. Gets the door slammed on him in 3. There we see lapping cars already. The 17 car, Robbie Reiser. Burton, he's got it this time.
And Jeff Burton will take the lead. You mentioned the car number 17, normally driven by Tim Bender.
Oh, he got a car, 40 car.
That is Curtis Markham driving the Doug Taylor on USA Ford. And he has come into contact with the concrete. No caution flag thus far. He is down out of harm's way on the apron, trying to get the car to turn. The wheels are turned, but the car is still coming up across the racetrack.
That's a 99 car, Glenn Allen. He's hung to the outside as Todd Bodine goes by. Here comes Tim Steele trying to get alongside. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 40 car, Curtis Markham. Comes off the corner, and it looks like he and the 63 might have made contact. He goes down and hits this wall pretty hard, Ned.
Yes, he does. He certainly knocks the front end out of alignment on the car. So he did make it around to the back pits.
And he ricocheted off the wall right in front of Jeff Burton, Hermie Sadler and company, the leaders. And now there is the car number 9 of Burton. He is being shown as a leader. He's pulling away considerably over Hermie Sadler. Now the car number 40 is in, and Kyle Petty is there.
Yeah, the 40 car made contact with somebody, got into the back of him, and as they come off the bank or come down the straightaway, he was sideways about 2/3 of the way. Then he got over into that little bit of dampness that's still left over from the weather that we've had and got into the inside wall. It looks like it's driven the left front back a little bit. Definitely messed up the front end. They're all shaking their head right now. Looks like it's a day for him.
Kyle, from the replay, it showed he hit a ton with that left front down across the racetrack onto the inside pit wall, so they'll have a lot of work to do to get that car back on the racetrack if they have any shot at all. Tough break for Curtis Markham.
And right now, these cars are going by the 77 of Jeff McClure. Also, the 80 car back there. They're lapping these cars. That was Mark Krogh in the 80. And the traffic is tight, man.
Yes, it is. He doesn't have any chance to get back down in there. And there's already been some bumping and grinding, as we say in the business out there. And here's Jeff Burton in heavy traffic. Comes up on Greg Saxon, yellow number 45. And that's Dennis Setzer in number 43. Both of those drivers want to keep from going a lap down, but they're running side by side. Jeff Burton has nowhere to go.
They are 37th and 38, talking about the 43 and 45, and they're Now Burton goes to the outside of Sachs in the Hunter Specialty Chevrolet.
See, Hermie Sadler had dropped back quite a bit, but when Jeff Burton ran up on this traffic, Hermie was able to catch up to him.
There's Hermie Sadler with car number 1. Mike McLaughlin, the 34 car, is third. As you see Burton now closing in on Dennis Setzer's Lance Chevrolet. Setzer being shown back in the 37 spot.
Dennis Setzer does go a lap down the Lance Chevrolet. Mike Wallace, the 7th car. And there's the 74 of Brandon LaJoy, the Phoenix car, the defending champion of this NASCAR Busch Series. And that's the fight for the 7th spot. Oh, like to be some contact there. LaJoy had a great run in the middle of the corner.
That car number 7, owned by Ed Whitaker from right here in Bristol, Tennessee.
We saw the 17 car just a moment ago. Robbie Reiser going to the garage area on the back.
Yeah, Tim Bender was injured, and when he was qualifying yesterday, he crashed the car, and recurring injury maybe. We want to go back home and check it out. And so Robbie Reiser started that car.
Robbie, of course, owns that car. They're in a backup car from the one that Tim hit the wall a ton with yesterday. It's the battle continuing for 7th spot. The 7 car, Mike Wallace, LaJoy, defending series champions. Look to the inside. Wallace holds the bottom groove.
Of course, that car number 7 was a real fixture in the winner's circle. Ooh, they bump again. For many years, Harry Gant drove that car to a lot of victories.
You know, Randy LaJoy has not had very good luck here in Bristol, Tennessee. Take a look. He's finished 2 of 7 races that started here. His average finished 23rd. And he almost lowered the average there as he slams the brakes on him behind him. Mike Dillon has to get on the brakes. He is tagged by Sachs.
Go high. Watch for debris. Caution's out. Leader's behind you. Leader's going into 3. Okay, just stay caught up.
Spotter telling drivers to go high, debris on the racetrack.
Watch all these cars racing the 9 car back to the start-finish line, and all of them will beat him back and remain in the lead lap. Under NASCAR rules, they race back to the line. The 9 car, Jeff Burton's the leader, and he slowed down for the debris up there. Those other fellows that he had lapped just a moment ago raced back to the line, and all of them got their lap back.
Great break for Dennis Setzer, who was there. Johnny Chapman was there. The 63 car, Tracy Leslie.
Jeff Krogh almost got back, but didn't quite make it back to the...
Here's what happened. Watch him as he smokes that left front tire, slams on the brake. Now, the 96 slams on the brakes. The 72 of Mike Dillon slams on the brakes to avoid, and he spins himself out.
Yeah, he could have maybe got tapped a little bit from behind when he slammed on the brakes.
That's right. We couldn't see behind. And as he comes off the wall, let's see from the helicopter if we can see if he... Hard to say if the car behind tagged him or not.
Mike Dillon gets up and comes off the wall. And there's Greg Sachs, who's on the outside and has nowhere to go. Take a look from Phil Parsons' viewpoint from the channel lock-in car.
Where are they, Ned? Didn't look like he was any contact there.
No, it didn't look like it. Now watch this race to the line.
Tracy Leslie, the 63, the 77, and there we see the 38 car. Slow as he and Chapman. Burton runs up behind him, and while he does that, Leslie, Setzer, all go by on the outside.
I said Jeff Krogh didn't make it back, but I believe he did. He won the first one.
Well, let's go down to Bill Weber in the Mike Dillon pit. Bill?
And Jerry, all these guys really disappointed. Great qualifying run. Now they've got the rear bumper ripped off. They're trying to work with the fuel line here. Lots of damage. Pulling sheet metal away from the right side, trying to make sure the fuel cell is still intact. So Mike Dillon sits here on pit road with sky highs, got damage to the left front and to the hood. Very disappointing, but this is typical Bristol. This is exactly what we'll see the rest of today and all day for 500 laps tomorrow. Guys have great qualifying runs, get trapped in traffic, and their day ends in disappointment and sometimes in a hurry. That's the story for Mike Dillon.
We mentioned at the top of the show, 17 drivers in today's field were looking for their first ever Busch Series win. Mike Dillon was one of those. We'll be back to Bristol after this. Bristol as the green flag waves here on lap number 37. The first caution out for 5 laps.
take Jeff Burton long to put 4 or 5 car lengths on Hermie Sadler.
Turned that last lap in 16 1/4 seconds, Vinny.
And the race conditions are awfully fast for these cars. The overcast skies, the clouds, makes the cars faster than if the sun were to be out.
Jeff Burton now pulling away somewhat. The battle really is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Welcome you to Bristol, Tennessee. Those of you who've been watching the Busch and Lomb Tennis Championships in Amelia Island, Florida. Our exciting coverage of the Moore's Snacks 250. I'm Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett. Bill Weber and Kyle Petty are in the pits. We are just underway here at Thunder Valley. And Jeff Burton, who qualified 3rd, is our leader in the car number 9, the track gear Ford Thunderbird.
And there we see Jeff Burton, and you see no one else in the picture, but that's because 2nd place is way back there. There he is, Hermie Sadler. Probably 20 car lengths behind Jeff Burton. Burton in the 9 car, the latest winner on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit, won the race at Texas Motor Speedway last week.
Take a look at our field summary. We'll show you Burton as a leader. The parentheses number shows you where the driver started. There's our points leader, car number 36, who started way back in 26th position. And the car number 36, the Stanley car of Todd Bodine.
And he's back right now. That is the battle for the 19th spot. The 33 car of Tim Fido is 19th, and Todd Bodine is 20th.
He's making some progress. He's got 6 spots so far. That's what he has to do, is be very patient. This is a tough racetrack to pass over.
Todd Bodine started back so far earlier in the show. Just joined us to remind you that Bill Weber reported that he had a flat tire during qualifying. When he came in from his qualifying lap, and that's the reason the car was so slow in qualifying, and he was mired back in the middle of this 42-car field when they dropped the green.
Car number 80 of Mark Crow just went into the pits on the backstretch.
You see Mark Martin, the 60 cars, won 4 times. 4 times in 1997 on the NASCAR Busch Series. Here he's trying to get under. That's Morgan Shepherd in the 50 car. Mark goes down on the apron of the racetrack and then almost lost that baby.
Boy, he did a great job of saving it.
Did a well of a job of saving it. Once again, Morgan Shepherd a little bit out of shape, and Mark Martin having to use that brake pedal more than he would like here on the high banks at Bristol. Kevin LePage makes a move to the outside of Mark Martin.
Oh, there's a piece of debris on the backstretch. And we see the official telling the NASCAR folks up at the tower about the debris. And there's our leader once again. And we've got a crash. Mark Green, heavy contact off turn 4.
And he has no control of that race car. It goes up across the racetrack, and the field now splits him on either side as the car number 37 of Mark Green.
He's got the inside wall.
Mark, who had a great beginning 1997 at 38 years of age at Timberwolf Chevrolet, and that car is ruined.
It has taken a very hard lick. You can see how much it's bashed back, but his window screen is already down and he's moving around. That's good.
We'll see. Oh, heavy contact. Looked like there might have been some contact from the rear and turned him head on in the outside retaining wall.
You can see he has no control. The right wheel is looking outward, and the steering mechanism is all fouled up, and he'll come back up across the racetrack, up the banking as cars go by.
Well, Mark Green, who was 9th in the point standings coming into this race, fortunately is okay, but he will never forget his very first trip to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. Back with more in just a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee, under the second caution flag of the day due to a violent impact involving Mark Green's Chevrolet. There's what's left of his Timberwolf Chevy. We're going to show you what happened right side of your screen.
Coming into the screen right now, he just hits the wall head on coming out of turn 4, has no control of the automobile as other cars slow down, try to maneuver by him. You can see the right front wheel is turning too much to the right as he comes down through there, and as he gets into turn 1, the car is just going to go up the banking, and everyone fortunately will get by him.
Well, number one, this car might not have brakes. He probably has hit the right front hard enough that it's broken the brake caliper on that wheel. But if he did have brakes, he still would be unable to pick his foot up and hit the brakes because all the air is left of his body. Folks, you can't imagine the just tremendous impact when these cars hit these retaining walls. He was probably traveling 80, 90 miles per hour, and he runs head on into a concrete retaining wall.
And there is Jimmy Cox pulling a ratchet to adjust the right rear out of Dennis Setzer's Lance Chevrolet Monte Carlo as he was leaving pit road. Now, those of you who joined us just a little bit ago, there were 2 incidents in the early laps of this race. Back on lap 13, the Ford, driven by Curtis Markham, spun coming out of turn 2, came down and tagged the inside concrete retaining wall, heavily damaging that car. Then on lap 32, Mike Dillon's Chevrolet up in turns 3 and 4, spins, tags the wall, comes down off the wall, and is hit by Greg Sachs. That brought out actually the first caution flag of the day. And this incident right here was the second caution flag of the day, involving the car number 37, 38-year-old Mark Green, who'd had a great beginning in 1997 and found himself 9th on the point standing. Let's check in now with Bill Weber.
Okay, first of all, for the leader, Jeff Burton, who is having another great run, he says his car is good getting into the turns, tight in the middle, then loose coming off. They talked about making a track bar adjustment. They're not going to do that. They're going to try and make an air pressure adjustment during their first stop. For pole sitter Hermie Sadler, his car has been tight since the start of the race, but I just stopped in his pit. They say the car is starting to come to him, so he'll try and rope in Burton when we go back to green.
Exciting Busch Series action. Hermie Sadler was the pole sitter and led the initial laps, and then Jeff Burton sped by. Well, what a week it has been for Jeff Burton. A win in Texas, and he'd like to be able to hang on and get a win today in Bristol. Back in a moment. Back in Bristol, Tennessee, getting set for green. Let's check in with Kyle Petty.
Mark Green, you took a heck of a lick right there. We all said a few prayers for you as you slid down the front stretch. What happened?
Jason and I got over there. I got under him going in 3 and come off 4. I mean, I just barely touched him. We just closed in there, you know, off the 4 and just barely touched him, and that's all she wrote. You know how slick it is here when it goes sideways.
Yeah, there ain't much room for a mistake here for anybody. He'll be back, guys.
Well, thankfully, Mark Green is okay, able to walk away, and Jeff Burton pulls away on lap 61 after a caution for 10 laps, the second caution flag of the day.
Boy, those cars that are laps down are in a tough spot in Busch Grand National Racing. They start on the outside, have to restart on the outside, no chance for them.
There's a battle for second place to 1 car, Hermie Sadler, and the 34, Mike McLaughlin, the Royal Oak Chevy.
There's Jeff Burton's car number 9. There's second and third, as you said, Benny. Sadler and McLaughlin. Jeff Green back and forth, and Dick Trickle is 5th. There's Phil Parsons' Channel Lock Chevrolet. Look there, he started 21st, is currently 13th. You think it's hard to pass here? Well, Phil has mastered out here in the early laps. In just about 60-some laps, he has gained about 10 spots.
Running off the wheel. His car in the practice on Friday was the fastest car in the last practice session before qualifying. Now we see Jeff Green has closed up right on the back bumper of McLaughlin and brought Dick Trickle with him.
Trickle took a look on the inside of Jeff Green there a lap ago, but there's nothing there.
That is 3rd, 4th, and 5th you're looking at there.
And McLaughlin, all of a sudden, in the last couple of laps, is really struggling because the 1 car of Hermie Sadler just has driven away from McLaughlin.
And this battle you're watching here, they're probably about 15, 18 car lengths behind the second place car. There's your field summary. It shows you where these drivers started in parentheses. It shows the progress they've made forward or backward. Chevrolet, car number 34, Mike McLaughlin. Car number 8 is Jeff Green. The Duralube Chevy of Dick Trickle, winner at Hickory Motor Speedway. His first NASCAR win a few weeks ago.
McLaughlin still continues to lose ground to Hermie Sadler and to Jeff Burton.
We are being told that Mark Martin in car number 60 is complaining. He is very, very loose. We'll see what Phil Parsons has to say. He is right behind the Winn-Dixie Ford.
Oh, Jeff McClure is spun. This is going in turn 3. Right now, the caution flag still waiting to see if McClure can clear the racetrack. Now the caution does wave.
You spin at Bristol, you hit hard and you hit in a hurry. McClure loops it around. Heavy damage to the right side, flattened the right side sheet metal on his Lear Ford Thunderbird. That will bring out caution for the third time here in the early laps. Still less than 75 laps complete. And we have 3 caution flags. Let's see if we can see what happened to Jeff McClure.
Let's see if these are 2 cars we're talking about as they come off the corner. Yes. Some contact. Looks like that's Elton Sawyer that touches the 77 car. And around he goes. And you're right, Jerry. It's a pretty severe contact.
There's a 77 car rolling again for Jeff McClure.
Here comes McLaughlin. It looked like he had some problems. He's going to come to the pit area and try to cure some of those handling problems. Gives up a tremendous amount of track position, but now's a good time to fix it. Right?
And Bill Weber is there.
Just had a handling problem. The nose really pushing up the racetrack, so Mike had to come in. Gives up that track position that Benny talked about. They're going to change tires here. This also is a strategy some other teams were going to use. They were going to try and stop short and then go the rest of the way. Now, you could probably make it on fuel from here, but it won't be a lot of fun. He's got tires and fuel, and Mike's back in it, hopefully with a better handling race car. And this team was talking about early pit stop strategy, and they were actually forced into it. We'll see what happens.
That was Gary Cogswell, the crew chief there, former crew chief for Chad Little when he was very successful back in Busch Series racing. Now the head wrench on Mike McLaughlin's car. Here's our leader, Jeff Burton, who's showing the way here as we have the 3rd caution flag today because of this wild spin by Jeff McClure out of turn 4, and ouch, in the inside concrete wall. Back with more from Thunder Valley in a minute. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine.
Elliott Sadler has had a really strong start to the 1997 NASCAR Busch Series season. Unfortunately, he has torn up a few race cars. The team had planned to bring the car they raced at Darlington to Bristol. Unfortunately, Elliott wrecked that car, so they brought their next best available short track car. When they got here, though, the front end of that car was bottoming out, so they had to raise the front end a ½ an inch. Now, when you do that, basically you raise the whole car. That moves the roll center of the car. Now, you can't change the pivot points on the car to improve the roll center because they're welded, but one way you can adjust the roll center is through the upper control arm spindle configuration. You can see these are upper control arms off the 29 rig. They come in various shapes and sizes. Here are 2 different size spindles, also in various shapes and sizes. The upper control arm fits into the spindle like this and then bolts, of course, to the chassis of the car. By changing this configuration, you can move the roll center so the driver gets a better feel for the race car around the track. This is a very unusual change to make on race morning, but because they've tested items like this on a computer, they're confident it will help their car here at Bristol today.
All right, thank you very much, Bill, indeed. But that's what's some of the benefits of a multi-car team, plus being involved with the Winston Cup team. Gary Bechtel owns that team, who also owns the Winston Cup team, the Cartoon Network effort of Robert Presley. Getting set for a green flag. Once again, you're looking beneath the rear bumper of the Channel Lock Chevrolet of Phil Parsons. Phil now being shown in 12th position after starting back in 21st.
And that 48 car is not Randy Porter. That's Larry Pearson driving that car. Randy Porter involved in a heavy crash at Texas Motor Speedway last week. Felt he was just too sore and hurt too bad to come here at Bristol. Ask Larry Pearson to drive for him.
Green flag.
Larry Pearson, a good one to pick. A two-time winner here from the restart here on lap 80 after a 7-lap caution. Tracy Leslie's car is coming to rest. Mike Dillon was there. Dennis Setzer, Greg Sachs.
Jeff Fuller, I think, was one of the first cars that spun.
Jason Keller coming around minus dragging part of a rear bumper and some sheet metal.
4 tires of gas. Jeff, catch up now. Not open this time. You want to come anyway?
There's Jeff Burton, our leader in the track gear Ford. Show you again what happened. It got crowded in a hurry off turn 2.
There we see the crash has already happened. The Jeff Fuller 47 car has already spun, and we see the 15 car, Brad Teague, get in the back of 57, turn him around, and here comes the 63 car of Tracy Leslie. He has no place to go. Meanwhile, Dennis Setzer, the 43, looks like he stopped up there. There we see the 47. He's made a 360 and continues on. And all this melee happens behind him.
And I think Dennis Setzer got into there. You can see how close he is to the wall. I think he actually hit the wall a little bit.
We see Rick Wilson, the 75, pointing the wrong way. Mark Martin makes a pit stop. Bill Weber.
And he's already headed back out, Benny. 4 tires, fuel, and 6 rounds up on the track bar. So I don't think his car was handling very well.
Wow.
He talked about the car being very loose. A lot of cars going in on the back straightaway. There's Glenn Allen's car, number 99. And Elliott Sadler's also in it. Kyle is there.
Elliott Sadler was right in the middle of that accident. He had all 4 tires locked, did a tremendous job to avoid getting into the 47 car. They made one small chassis adjustment, put new tires on the right side, new tires on the left side, and they're sending him back out. He's on his way.
Go ahead, go. Watch your speed. First.
There's Brad Teague in the 15, number 15 car. Pulling up the Charlie Henderson car.
Keith, you said, go. Watch your speed. I mean, what's...
Yeah, you made it. All right, can we get him a little on the left rear?
Ask him if they got all the lug nuts tied on the left rear.
Yeah, because...
Come on up there. Follow that 60 car now.
We could see watching the stop that looks like they let the jack down just a little bit before they got the lug nuts tight on that left rear.
They just barely beat the pace car. It was very, very close. Elliott Sadler and also the car number 15 of Brad Teague.
Keith Barnwell, the spotter, yelling, go, and then saying, watch your speed.
Go fast, but don't speed.
There's the Mike Dillon car involved in the first caution flag today, and Bill Weber is there.
Okay, well, they're going to try and get as many valuable points as they can. They've gone around to change the right side tires, and that's all they're going to do. They're not going to change lefts. Mike had just radioed in before he crashed earlier in the race. Now they decided they are going to put on left side tires, that the car's handling real well. And the next time he radioed in, he'd already been into the wall. So a disappointing day for him after the good qualifying run. But 4 tires, they're going to try and get as many points, pick up some positions here as they can.
Well, he's being shown in 38th position. He is now, after losing this lap in the pits, when you see the cars go by, he is 21 laps down.
Well, we'll show you some of the cars involved in the 4th caution flag today. They were at least 12 or 13, but the ones primarily involved had to stop over there. Probably see some of the heavy damage on the back of the Detroit gaskets. Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Among those cars involved, Joe Bessie, Morgan Shepherd, Mike Dillon, Jeff Fuller, and Dennis Setzer. Also involved Rick Wilson, Jason Keller, and Tracy Leslie. Keller's been on and off pit road. They pulled some of the sheet metal away. He comes back on the pit road, as does Tracy Leslie and Brad Teague. They come in the backstretch pits. Some sheet metal missing from the back of his Slim Jim machine. Still working the 4th caution flag today here in the early laps, less than 100 laps in to the Moore Snacks 250, and we are chewing away race cars here at Thunder Valley. Back with more from Bristol after this. Back in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of eastern Tennessee, high above the ultra-modern Bristol Motor Speedway. Those shots courtesy of our fine folks at Pennzoil, the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Above the Rose Bowl of racetracks, 118,000 seats here. And folks, tomorrow for the Food City 500, they will all be full. And come August, they're going to be almost 130,000 seats in this track that gets bigger and better. Now, from the helicopter moments ago, we're going to show you Tracy Leslie's car leaving pit road.
Well, we see the front bumper is dragging as he's leaving pit road. Remember, he had the contact with Jason Keller. He goes down the end of pit road and, oh, right over the front bumper. At least he got rid of it.
Then he came back in on pit road. They're trying to peel the rest of it away. That's Jeff Hensley and the crew now trying to get him out of the way so he doesn't lose any more valuable time in the pits.
That was a brake duct there that they were taking off. He's got bungee cords across the, he's got tape, he's got anything he can to hold the hood down on that Lysol Pontiac.
All right, lap 91.
Okay, pace car. Get ready. Green flag, green flag, green flag.
9 laps of caution for the 4th time today. Lap number 91, Jeff Burton leads them back out of turn 2.
I said a moment ago there that the lap cars having started on the outside had no chance to get back in the lead lap. Maybe, but he was able to get back in right behind the leader there. He's in the white 66 car, but he's still a lap down, but he was able to get in line pretty quick.
And how about the Band-Aid Ford of Michael Waltrip? Our serial scoring presented by MCI showed that he started 32nd on the field, and at lap 90 had moved into 14th spot. Told you there were 8 former winners in the field today. Michael Waltrip is one of those.
Todd Bodine is right behind him there in the car number 36. Of course, Todd started in 26th position. He's running 15th.
The 89 car, the white car, Johnny Chapman. That's Jeff Krogh in the 56th, the blue and white car. Joe Bessie, the 6th. And we see McLaughlin, after making that pit stop, trying to work his way back through the field.
We had seen Mark Martin make the pit stop there during this last caution. We had a report that Mark's car was overheating, but that's not unusual during the caution that the car would heat up quite a bit.
Here's a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Stevie Reed in the car number 96. Up front, left side, looking out the window cam, the in-car camera of Channel Lock Chevrolet driver Phil Parsons.
And that's Morgan Shepherd in the 50 car, a new car to the NASCAR Busch Series.
Bobby Jones owns that car. It's good to see Bobby back there.
Oh, and the 88 makes contact with the 96 RN.
That's Kevin LePage in the 88 car, the David Redling on machine. 96 is Stevie Reeves. He is being shown in 8th position. Page is 9th. In comes Shepherd in 10th. And this car you're riding with in 11th spot, Phil Parsons.
Morgan is drifting up in the middle of the racetrack, but Phil is not able to close in on the back bumper. That's a groove that Morgan is trying to run.
That is Larry Pearson right behind Phil Parsons in 12th spot. Once again, LePage looks to the inside, but Reeves slams the door. Now Kevin LePage goes high.
Boy, look at the run. LePage got off that corner. And look at the damage he did to the rear bumper on the 96 car.
Jammed it right in, didn't he?
Stevie Reed, the former pole sitter here at Bristol, Tennessee, set on the pole here in the fall race of 95.
Well, here goes LePage. He'll make the pass this time.
Yes, he will now.
Yeah.
Reed slips up, and LePage will take the 8th spot. Here comes Shepherd to take 9th away.
There's a long line that Stevie Reed's going to see go by before he's going to be able to get back in line.
go from 8th back to 12th position just that quickly.
Here comes Michael Waltrip back. They just keep on coming. Todd Bodine is there. He's coming.
Like I said, back to 14th spot. As you said, the horses get up there and they just keep going by you.
Well, Todd Bodine got completely sideways back there.
Tim Steele.
Clear all around. Clear all around. Big crash behind you. Lots of debris. Lots of debris.
And Mark
Nice
Martin's
job,
involved. There we see Mark Martin's car coming off the bank. He was involved in that crash.
Caution for the 5th time. Mark Martin comes down pit road. Heavy contact. Ron Barfield's car. There's the New Holland Ford. His first time at Bristol in a Busch car. The car number 94 up against the wall. There's the front and rear end damage of that machine.
There we see Barfield's car, the New Holland Ford.
Joe Bessie be able to make his way back to pit road. His car heavily damaged. Tim Steele already in the pits in the backstretch. He has some heavy damage as now Barfield's car rolls down across the racetrack. Over there entering turn 3.
And Benny, you mentioned Mark Martin was involved. He went right on by his pits and went and took it on back behind the pit wall.
Looked like some pretty good damage to that. Here's the leaders in the pits. There's Jeff Burton stopping Bill Weber.
And this will be 4 tires for Jeff Burton. And again, they're going to make an air pressure adjustment to try and correct his handling problem. Burton refuses a drink, working on the right side. Traffic swirling around him and around the crew. Remember, pit road very wet. Jack Mann almost slips but recovers. Slides it under the left side. Now looking to put the left side tires on. Left front tightening the lugs. Now the left rear is done and Burton's back down. He'll have to fight his way out of the pits. Now remember, it's wet. Michael Waltripson, Kyle.
Michael Waltrip's car is the only lead car pitting over here. I think there may be one other one. They're having trouble getting the right side up. They can't get the right side tire off. It's bad enough to have to pit over here, but much less to have trouble at the same time. He's going to lose valuable track position right here. They're coming to the left side. They got the left side up. Things full of gas. Putting the left side on. He'll be back out. Pit road's really damp over here exiting pit road. And the wreck's at the end of pit road, so they have to be careful. Back to you guys.
See how it all shakes out once they get out of the pits.
And Mike McLaughlin, who stopped early, will stay on the racetrack, so he will inherit the lead.
Let's see if we can show you again what happened to bring out the 5th caution flag today. Some pretty hard impacts in turn 3.
Here's from our camera in turn 2 as we look down through there. There we see Todd Bodine trying to get under the Stevie Reeves car. And Joe Bessie, I don't know if he makes contact, but the power team car goes down and slams the wall. There we see Tim Steele, the 4 car. He's spinning. There we see Barfield. He spins. And also someone tags. Look at the left rear tires knocked off of Mark Martin's car. Wow.
A different angle. You see Bessie's car tagged the inside right side of your screen. That's Steele. There's Barfield into the outside wall.
We saw Bessie go up and he hits the left rear of Mark Martin's car and knocks the tire off the wheel.
Well, here's some more. There's Mark Martin, and we see him coming into it. And there's the Barfield car up on the outside. 29 car gets on by, but Tim Steele in the 4 car spinning around. And Benny said, Mark Martin gets hit, knocks the wheel off of his tire. Then Setzer gets through there, and so does Brad Teague.
I don't know how in the world Setzer was able to get through there. It's like a field goal with a real narrow goalpost.
Watch a 43 car come through. There's the contact. Watch a 43 Rod Scotty's come right through the Lance Chevrolet. Didn't touch anybody. Now from high above in the Pennzoil copter cam, take a look.
There we see, there's the crash going on and all the cars driving through. Mark almost made it through. Ooh, that 43 just missed Tim Steele on the way through.
Well, that's how exciting it can get here at Bristol in a hurry. 5th caution flag today, and Mark Martin, one of those involved, his car behind the wall. Back with more from Thunder Valley in a moment. Tennessee just in time for the green flag on the restart. Lap 111 after the 5th caution lasted 6 laps.
There's our leader, Mike McLaughlin. The 34 car.
And the 29 car of Elliott Sadler is second. He had stopped earlier.
And he makes a bid for the lead in 1. Oh, slams on the brakes.
And we're talking about a season of first-time winners. Elliott Sadler's teammate Jeff Green has already won in Vegas.
Long way to go, Elliott.
One driver who's sort of dominated this year and been to victory lane a lot of times, but won't go there today. Right, Kyle Petty?
That's exactly right. Mark, I'm not used to interviewing you this early in the race. Most of the time it's at the end of the race when you're holding a trophy and drinking some Gatorade and stuff. You know, you're used to running up front. You got caught back in traffic today. I understand why you like to run out front now. What happened out there?
The car wasn't as good as it usually is, so we decided to pit early and qualified back in the back. So we're going to pit early, get our work done, and then stay out when the leader's pitted and be up front. I got in a wreck, you know, just a typical Bristol deal.
It's one of those things, but he can afford to let somebody else win a week or two, guys.
Well, indeed, and Mike McLaughlin is trying to turn his luck around at Bristol. He currently is our leader. There is Jeff Fuller, the 47 and 57 cars of Jason Keller. McLaughlin is the leader. First time in 5 starts he's ever led at Bristol, Tennessee. In fact, he's never finished in the top 20. His best finish 21st back in August of '95.
Elliott Sadler is second, and the car number 47, Jeff Fuller is.
You look good, bud. Look good. Doing a good job.
Here's our split fire snapshot of Mike McLaughlin's car number 34. Started second, currently first. His lowest was 29th back on lap 76. And he is currently being shown as our leader. The first time, and I said 5 starts here at Bristol, Tennessee, that he's actually led a Busch Series event.
Tell you one thing, if he drifts up the racetrack
I catch some slow cars here.
about another 2 feet, he's not going to be leading long because Elliott Sadler is just waiting for the opportunity to
Hello.
Maybe that is it. He took a look.
Here's the field summary. You see the 9 car of Jeff Burton back there in 6th position. There you see the first 5. These cars had pitted earlier, and Jeff Burton, of course, was leading the race before he came in. But now is back a little bit.
All right, bud, you're looking great. Get your rhythm back. 120 laps. Got a long way to go.
There's our pole sitter, Hermie Sadler. He goes by the 15 car of Brad Teague.
LaJoy is there, the car number 74, the Phenom Chevrolet for LaJoy. He's being shown back in 9th spot. Now Dick Trickle in the 64 car going by Teague, along with Todd Bodine, the Stanley Tools machine.
Now that's 4th position when they're passing Teague. Apparently, Brad's car is not up to par here. He was involved in an accident a little bit earlier, but he's still on the lead lap.
Meanwhile, the 88 car of Kevin LePage is trying to pass and does pass the 85 of Shane Hall on the outside. Now he's going to try it on the outside of the 15 car. Kevin, Angels don't go up there. And we see Buckshot. I'm sorry, that's Morgan Shepherd awfully high in the 50 car.
Now Morgan would like to work out a groove up there, to run up there on that outside. Maybe his car just won't stay down there, but he would really love to run on the outside.
Well, these cars do indeed dance around. Take a look at the rear of Phil Parsons' Channel Lock car. That is Steve Park in the AC Delco Food City. Watch that Monte Carlo dance around, up and down and up on the bottom, up high.
Almost bottoms out when it hits some of those bumps coming off the turn, Jerry. You can see how close the front air down there gets to the pavement. Not pavement, concrete.
Oh, some contact between the 00 of Buckshot Jones and the 15 of Brad Teague. Meanwhile, we've got a battle. We see Jeff Fuller in the 47 car has closed up on the back of Elliott Sadler. Bill Weber?
I'll tell you, I talked to Elliott Sadler and his crew chief, Sandy Jones, this morning. They were so disappointed of how poorly their car was running. They both said they were going to treat this race as a 250-lap test session. Then they made that change and got in the track back. 47 going around, Elliott. You can hear him talking, listening to his spotter. But obviously the change they made and their pit strategy has helped. But they were really disappointed in how the car was handling it back after the Busch cars practice here yesterday. Mark Martin went up to Elliott and said, "What is the matter with your car?" And then Mark has helped them to try and fix that car for next time. But right now, they're doing okay.
And you just saw a moment ago how Jeff Fuller, who won here last August, has come from back in the pack. He too had a poor qualifying effort from 27th to 2nd.
But there's trouble lurking right behind the 29 car. That's Jeff Burton, the track gear car. There we see the speeds of cars last time. Randy LaJoie, 115 miles per hour. So,
and trouble here on the front straightaway.
Dennis Setzer's car spins, trying to avoid is Tim Steele. He gets by. The 56 car is involved.
Jeff Krogh also involved. And no caution.
As Setzer got his car righted, Krogh made it to the back pit, so no caution. There's no debris on the racetrack, and all the cars are moving or else on pit road as Setzer now in the Lance Chevrolet tries to get the car back up to speed. There's the car number 80 of Mark Krogh trying to go around Setzer, as is Kevin LePage, Setzer's teammate.
Boy, Dennis has been in some, he's missed some, but he's had a sort of a tough day, Dennis Setzer in the Lance car.
There's first, second, third, and fourth all together. They work heavy traffic behind Tracy Leslie's Lysol Pontiac. McLaughlin goes beneath. Here is Fuller behind them.
I'm sorry, Jeremy. Jeff Burton has just taken over the third spot from the 29 car of Elliott Sadler.
So Burton's still fast after that pit stop.
And Jason Keller. Everybody in the racetrack's bounced off him, Ned. There he is still running in fifth spot.
We're up high. And on the bottom, stay in the middle.
Jeff Burton was in ninth place, I think, on the restart pits. And now has worked his way up to third.
You saw on our speed at the line a moment ago, everyone else in the top 5 or 6 was at 112 miles an hour, and Burton was over 113. Jeff Green in car number 8 making a move on Jason Keller. And Dennis Setzer exits the pits one more time in the backstretch.
It's a 36 car, a points leader of Todd Bodine as he goes by the 45 car. Where's he running, Ned?
Ninth place. So from 26 to 9th, Todd Bodine. Driving a great race here in the Stanley Pontiac.
Todd Bodine, take a look at what a difference a year makes. Consistency in 1997, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s. In fact, he's only run 8 races. He's been in the top 10 every event. And he is currently leading the Busch Series points.
Meanwhile, a battle wages for second spot. 47, Jeff Fuller. Jeff Burton in the 9 car. Well, the 9 car is good, man.
Yes, it is. Very fast. Jeff Burton
keeps that car right on the yellow line around the racetrack.
Been fast in just about every race so far this year. It's amazing that he has as good as that car has been. Circumstances have kept him from it.
Our serial scoring of Jeff Burton. Take a look at since the restart on lap 111. He was in 8th spot and has gradually worked his way back toward the front. Now in 3rd.
And we saw that white car come into the picture there just a moment ago. He's coming in. There he is. We saw just a little bit of that. That's Jeff Green. And he is coming towards the front right now, too. He is catching the leaders. He might be the fastest car on the track.
Jeff Green, 2 second-place finishes here at Bristol in his Busch Series career. Driving for Gary Bechtel.
Wes Ward, the crew chief on that car. They're working together this year for the first time. And boy, he is mowing them down.
And for those of you tuning in expecting to see horse racing, you will see that horse racing in its entirety at the conclusion of our Busch Grand National Series Morris 250 here in Bristol, Tennessee. Horse racing coming up. Right now we're talking horsepower and high banks at Bristol. And what a battle we've got here for second place is now 3 cars are there to battle second, third, and fourth.
And 9 car takes a look. But here's that 8 car you're talking about, Ned. He's there.
He has come from pretty far back and caught the Benny. He should have made some adjustments on his Chevrolet when they made that pit stop.
It's about for second, third, and fourth.
Chevrolet, Ford, and Chevrolet. The 47 of Fuller, who won here last August, holds off the 9 car of Jeff Burton. The track gear Ford, and behind them, still unsponsored, is Jeff Green, despite that success and win out in Las Vegas. There's still looking for a sponsor for that Busch Grand National effort for green.
Now look at this heavy traffic. Our leader's in. Fuller's already caught up. He's right on his back bumper. Here comes Burden. And they're trying to get by the 15 of Brad Teague. He's going to go the outside. The 47 will try to go the inside and take that lead away off 2. No. Teague gives the leader some race and run.
Cheerleader there. Watching Mike McLaughlin. The leader come by each and every time. Got to be. Anstey watching Mike in the race car, the Royal Oak machine, knowing he's never had very good luck here at Bristol, Tennessee. That's Katie Gregory, Mike's girlfriend, watching anxiously.
Ooh, 47-9. It is so very, very close.
You're still 23.
Looking low, looking low. He's there. Still there, still there, still there. You got another behind him. 2 up there. You got another one back here. Stay up, stay up. Clear behind the 8. Clear behind. Good, right there, clear. It's okay, buddy. Good job.
That's Jeff Fuller's spotter telling him he was clear behind the 8. And one of the cars that had a great run at the very beginning from 21st all the way up to about 11th place. Phil Parsons has lost the handle in this Channel Lock Chevrolet. Here's what happened just a few laps ago to the car number 10.
That's Shane Hall, the 85 car, the Bama Foods car. Phil goes in the corner. He's trying to get under the 85, slams on the brakes, and wow.
Wow.
We saw the 72 car do that earlier and backed it in the fence. Good job, Phil.
He did a great job of straightening that car out. So that's where maybe the handle hadn't gone away so much. It's just that he caught up to that situation there and had to slam on the brakes and almost lost it.
May have used up his tires quite a bit. Phil Parsons currently 3rd in the points, just 13 points behind LaJoy, who was in 2nd position.
And Elliott Sadler was talking, and he and Sandy Jones, his crew chief, was talking about just how badly their car was running, and we said, well, he's up the front, he's staying there, but Kyle Petty right now, he's drifted towards the back.
Yeah, Elliott made a challenge for the lead there 2 or 3 laps after that caution. Now all of a sudden, he's running the tires off of it. It's amazing what a set of sticker tires will do to a Neil Hanlon race car. Elliott's complaining about the car being tight in the middle and tight up off. He can't get in the corner hard because he pushes up. He can't get on the accelerator and drive it off because he's out next to the wall. He's biding his time, and hopefully that when next time they change tires, they can make a pressure adjustment and a chassis adjustment. Back to you guys.
Now remember, he has been out there quite a bit longer than some of the other drivers. He made a pit stop on one of the earlier cautions, Elliott Sadler did, but so did this man, the car number 34, which put him up the front. But Elliott's tires apparently giving up a little bit before McLaughlin.
They made pit stops prior to lap 100, whereas the car number 9 came in on lap 109. That's Jeff Burton, who now is really closed in on Mike McLaughlin. Take a look at the field summary where your favorite drivers are running and where they started. That's the number in parenthesis. Less than 100 laps remain here in the Morris Snacks 250.
That's a great battle there between 96 Stevie Reeves, 57 Jason Keller. Stevie Reeves is a lap down, so the battle between Keller, 57, 36 of Todd Bodine, and 64 of Dick Trickle.
That's 7th, 8th, and 9th there on the screen. Now Reeves goes high in the car 96, the Ford, and Keller goes by. Todd Bodine goes by. From above there with our Pennzoil copter cam. Great shot of Dick Trickle making a move by Stevie Reeves.
.38 car goes by. That's
Nelton Sawyer. Nelton went a lap down a little while ago. He's back there in 24th position, a lap down.
Mike McLaughlin moves by Rick Wilson's Food Country machine. Charlie Henderson owned car.
Now there are just 21 cars in the lead lap.
That puts Rick Wilson 1 lap down in 22nd position. Less than 90 laps to go here at Bristol, Tennessee. Mike, they used to call him Magic Shoes McLaughlin, former NASCAR Modified Series champion, trying to hold on to get his very first win in 1997. It has been a season of first. Will it continue? We'll find out. Our Speed World coverage of NASCAR Busch Grand National Series action, the More Snacks 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway, is being brought to you by Pure Later. To protect your engine, remember, pure oil now, pure oil later, pure later. And by Split Fire. Enter the performance zone with Split Fire Performance V spark plugs. Laps are winding down here at Bristol, Tennessee. 40-year-old Mike McLaughlin trying to get his first win in 1997. Those of you expecting to see horse racing, that'll be coming up next. The Thrifty Car Rental Racing Across America, featuring the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes and the Arkansas Derby. That'll come up in its entirety at the conclusion of our NASCAR Busch Series action from here at Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee.
Guys, I'm surprised at how well McLaughlin is still able to run. He's run a little over 100 laps on this set of tires. He came in on lap 73, and now he's completing the 174th lap. That's pretty doggone good. He's able to hold Burton off. Burton came in at lap 105. Bill Weber?
Ned, the crew very confident after they made that pit stop. I talked to him and said the car's a little tight, but they really thought the handle would come to them. Mike McLaughlin has not run very good at this track in the past. In fact, a couple of years ago, he failed to qualify for both races. But he just spent a few days on the Kyle Petty motorcycle ride from Dallas-Fort Worth here to Bristol. And on that ride, his girlfriend hooked him up with Harry Inch. He used to watch Harry race here as a kid and said, Harry, you got to talk to Mike. You got to help him get around the track. So they talk, they ride on the motorcycle for a couple hours, they talk again, they ride some more, they talk again. Mike came here, sat outside the front row, and now continues to lead this race and pulling away from Jeff Burton, who's beginning to lose the handle a little bit on his Ford.
It's a great story, Bill, where a little bit of bench racing, in that case motorcycle racing, and a little discussion with the veteran here again has helped Mike McLaughlin. As you said, Mike McLaughlin had never finished in the top 20. His best finished 21st here at Bristol in August of 1995.
You'll see Mike Wallace's 7th car in jeopardy of going a lap down to our leader. This is up looking down from our Pennzoil helicopter cam, or copter cam. And McLaughlin gets a good run, some contact between Wallace and McLaughlin.
Well, that lead that he had is evaporated here now that he's run up on Mike. Oh boy, they touch again. Mike Wallace running in the 20th position, wants to stay at the lead lap.
And now Jeff Burton is right on the rear deck of Mike McLaughlin. McLaughlin having to be very careful and tiptoe, knowing his tires have got to be worn. I think we can check the speeds and see how Mike Wallace is holding him off. McLaughlin's got to run. No, Wallace pulled down to the inside, trying to stay on the lead lap, as you said, Ned, in the Piggly Wiggly Ed Whitaker Chevrolet.
We see that before we were 115 miles per hour. Now they're down to 110, but that's the speed of Mike Wallace. They're running exactly at the speed of the car in front of them.
Yes.
Now Steve Park back in the back. He run 111 miles per hour. Finally, the 34 car was able to go by.
Got him a good run. Now all the leaders will go by.
Now watch how the speeds will pick up down there around the Mike Wallace car. We'll get speeds again as they come across. They were 109 miles an hour last time by. See if they go back up to 111. So they pick up 2.5 miles an hour just by passing a left car.
And he's still passing that lap too, so he'll run even faster when he gets clear. Of course, he's not clear there. Now passing the car of Johnny Chapman, the Sharon Williams car.
Well, traffic now becoming a problem, as you said, Dad, for the leader. In and out of traffic, passing cars. The speeds dip down to a little over 110 miles an hour for the Royal Oak Chevrolet.
Dick Trickle goes by the 57 car, puts him in 7th spot. He was able to put past, let me see, Elton Sawyer. Heavy smoke out of the back of that car.
Whoa, in contact out of turn 2 as Sawyer comes in. A couple of cars tagged. Jeff Fuller is involved. He is tagged behind. Nathan Butke is involved. And that will bring out the caution for the 6th time today. here at Bristol, Tennessee.
One still out there. You beat him back. Okay, watch this guy here.
East watching Elton Sawyer, her husband, as he evidently has an engine problem. They're looking at the engine anyway.
There's the Aiken Sutton's Barbasol Ford that led at Texas last week.
They're looking like that the engine is still running. It's an oil line or something, because well, now they decided they're going to push it onto the garage area. Let's see if we can see what happened coming off turn 2, Ned.
Hey, we see a pack of cars coming off the turn, and that was Jeff Fuller down on the inside. I don't know if he got tapped a little bit, or maybe he might have, maybe there's some oil out of Elton Sawyer's car. And anyway, he spun, and several others involved too. Bill Weber.
The top 2 guys pitting right next to each other here on pit road. It's going to be 4 tires back to original air pressure for Burton. 4 tires also for McLaughlin, who came in as the leader. Left rear is on, waiting on the left front. The car's down. Might have trouble getting around the 0-0. They're not going to make it. He's blocked in. Burton beats him out. McLaughlin backs it up, still trying to get out. Very disappointing. We talked about how tight pit road is. That time it cost Mike McLaughlin. Now the 8 car is blocked in, trying to fight his way out. And finally, Jeff Green gets away. Back to the 29 car.
Sorry about that, guys.
The 29 car changed right side tires. Come in, change right side tires, change left side tires, made a right rear adjustment and a left rear adjustment. They're using this thing for a test.
Go hard, go hard. When you hit the stripe, now hustle on up, hustle on up. Them guys is going to come behind you. So, play with it. Good job, bud, good job. You should be behind the 36.
What Sandy Jones was saying to the 29 car is you got to hustle down pit road and go fast, because the guys, the fellas that were pitting on the front stretch that were late getting out of their pits, they're going to pass you if you take it easy. You got to run hard and catch up with the field.
It looks like the left rear tire on the 29 is flat. The Phillips 66 car is flat.
See it right there.
Badly wrong.
Yeah, it's badly wrong. That tire is flat.
As he came out of pit road, it looked like the left rear tire was flat as he left.
Got a flat, loose, a lug nut's loose, something's wrong.
Now, as you watch
Oh,
this
anybody
fight,
hear me? Gotcha.
let's show you what caused the accident to bring out the caution. The 38 car comes to the corner, and there's the engine letting go in the Elton Sawyer car.
And whether or not there might be oil on the racetrack. Meanwhile, cars come through there. And there comes the leaders. The leaders come through there. And we see the 47 car. And I think he got tagged by the 66 car of Nathan Butke.
Yeah. But those cars up in front of him looked like they were loose coming off of there too, Benny. So I don't know.
Maybe he didn't get. Maybe there was some oil there. I didn't notice that.
I believe there was some oil there.
Brad Teague slid sideways all the way through that corner right in front of that group and held on to the car, but the cars behind him that started to slide, they were so close, and there was contact. And let's check in once again with Bill Weber.
Gary Cogswell, great run for Mike McLaughlin. Good stop, but you got boxed in. What happened?
Well, the car that was pitted in front of us was he was outside his box, and we just couldn't turn sharp enough to get out of our stall. But Mike said the car was driving good. He's not worried about it. He said that he'll have to try and beat him on the racetrack.
Your car was great for a long period of time.
Yeah, we had a lot of laps on our tires. He was still clicking off some good laps. Stayed ahead of some cars that had probably 20-lap pressure tires. So, you know, we're all keeping our fingers crossed for a real good finish here for Royal Oak and Frank Cece and Scott Welliver, Royal Oak Charcoal, and Chevrolet.
Okay, we'll see what happens. He also ran smack into Jeff Burton's pit board when he dove into his pit. To the backstretch, Kyle Petty.
This is a tire off Elliott Sadler's car. As soon as he left pit road, it went flat. When it goes flat, the wheel cuts the outer sidewall out of it. This is what a steel belted, that's hot right there, people. This is what a steel belted radial looks like right here when he comes in. Look at this. This tire still got the sticker on it. He didn't even get any of the new out of this thing.
Maybe he can get his money back, Kyle, if he still has a sticker on it. I doubt it, though. That one, as he was leaving pit road, cut down. Great pickup. And, of course, a tough break for Mike McLaughlin getting boxed in the pits. And, yeah, Katie DeGregory, she's not happy about it either. Back with more from Bristol in a minute. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, still working the 6th caution flag today. Racing coverage coming up later today. Our NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce. Final hour of Winston Cup practice at RPM tonight featuring Kenny Mayne at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. They'll have the Grand Prix of Long Beach update, Formula One of Argentina story, and in the driver's seat with Bill Elliott. Tomorrow, RPM today at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time or Pacific Time. Grand Prix of Argentina, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. NASCAR today, live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN from right here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And of course, our live flag-to-flag coverage, the big show, 37th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500. And Rusty Wallace will lead them down, 43 cars strong, largest field in the history of Bristol, Tennessee. And those of you waiting for horse racing will remind you, you will see it in its entirety at the conclusion of our coverage of NASCAR Busch Series action from right here at Bristol, Tennessee. The Thrifty Car Rental racing across America, that will be coming along in its entirety at the conclusion of our race here in Bristol, some 56 laps from now.
As a matter of fact, folks, if you're fans of 1 horsepower race, you ought to love this because you got about 550 horsepower.
Let's check in with Kyle Petty.
Well, if having a flat tire under the caution wasn't enough for Elliott Sadler and this team, there they are talking. He's been assessed a 1-lap penalty by NASCAR because he's changed his sets of tires +1. So he's 3 sets +1. Anything outside those 3 sets of tires is a 1-lap penalty. Obviously, he couldn't run with that flat tire. He had to come in and do something. But this is incredible. I don't understand the rules anyhow with some of this stuff, but this is pretty incredible to have something like this happen to him.
Yeah, I thought if you had a flat tire that you could change it and it didn't count against you.
Maybe he changed more than the left rear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he change more than that left rear when he came in, Kyle? That's what we got to find out.
He didn't. No, he didn't change. They changed the left rear tires. Every other tire, they didn't go to anywhere but there.
1 to go.
I got you. I don't understand that either.
Hustle left turn and get to the outside as fast as you can now. Hit that outside lane and go.
All right, let's check in with Bill Weber with more on Hermie Sadler's supposed pit stop.
Yeah, more bad luck for the other Sadler. Hermie, the pole sitter, came in under caution, but could not get into his pit because of all the oil Elton Sawyer had put down along pit road. So Hermie came in, couldn't stop, went back out on the track. They've decided not to stop, and now they'll try and go the rest of the way, 50-plus laps here. So tough break for Hermie, who has had really some lousy luck all year, and another bad break for him.
Well, at least Bill is in second place, right behind Larry Pearson, is leading this race as we get ready to restart it. So if the tires are good enough on that DeWalt Chevrolet, it might be a break for it. Who knows? We'll see.
Lap 198, 52 away from the conclusion. Larry Pearson, as you said, that is the leader, a 2-time winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Mike Wallace door-to-door with Pearson. He is a lap car on the outside, up high.
And he got a little higher, too, going into turn 3. That allowed Pearson to go on and get out in front of him.
Now Wallace pulls down in behind the Larry Pearson machine. That's Hermie Sadler to car number 1, back in second position.
And Jeff Burton takes over that second spot from Hermie Sadler. Here comes Brandon the Joy, the 74 car.
So the fact that Hermie didn't get tires on that car is beginning to show there right now.
There's Mike McLaughlin to car number 34. Now he challenges Hermie Sadler for the position. That'll be for 4th spot. Makes a move off turn 2.
And McLaughlin goes by and takes a spot away. Here comes Michael Walker, the Band-Aid Ford.
Michael Walker from 32nd now, being shown in 5th place. AutoZone race recap. The leader currently is Larry Pearson.
It was. Now it is Jeff Burton.
As Jeff Burton goes by, Pearson was being shown as a leader, had led 9 of 196 laps. There have been 3 lead changes, now make that 4. 6 cautions for 48 laps. Average speed 78.318 miles an hour because of the multiple caution flag. Our leaders, Jeff Burton had led 91 laps, Mike McLaughlin 82, Hermie Sadler 14, and Larry Pearson had led for 9 laps. Out of race, Markham Reiser, Mark Green, Ron Barfield, Mark Martin, and Jeff McClure.
And Mike Wallace in the 7 car, the Piggly Wiggly car, still trying to get that lap back. But Burton's got a great run this time.
But he can't make the pass. Now, we saw on the restart there that Mike Wallace, that Larry Pearson was able to get out ahead of him, but Wallace got ahead of Pearson, and then when these other cars passed him, of course, that left Wallace out in the lap. He's in the 19th position, almost a lap down. And there's Randy LaJoie. Boy, he's working on the 9 car of Jeff Burton. LaJoie in the blue number 74, last year's champion.
There you see Jeff Burton's split fire snapshot has led 93 laps. He currently leads. The 7 car is a lap car, but he is trying to get around Mike Wallace, and if Mike is trying to stay in the lead lap.
He's got a good run, but still can't quite make it. LaJoie's taking a look. Well, these straightaways seem to be awfully short, don't they, Ned?
They are very short. And I don't think there's any question but what Mike Wallace is holding Jeff Burton and Randy LaJoie up here right now, but they just simply can't get around him. And surprisingly, they're not giving him the passing flag.
Randy LaJoie in 7 starts here in Bristol, Tennessee, has never had a top 5 finish as good as he is on the short tracks. Hard to believe.
LaJoie's looking on the outside. I think that's fake. And once again, I don't know. Here he goes. LaJoie up to the top. Some contact.
Wow, what a bold move.
Now they are side by side. Ford and Chevrolet, 9 and 74, with the lap car of Wallace right in front. Here comes McLaughlin and Michael Waltrip to make it a 4-way battle. They rub, they touch. Still side by side off turn 4.
And look at LaJoie going right on by, or at least he's getting out there, but there was no room. Now he's trying again. I'll tell you, he is a brave soul.
Oh, here he is.
Now Burton just tags it back on Mike Wallace. Wallace bobbles, tags LaJoie a little bit, gets him out of shape, and now they are single file.
Man, we're racing at Bristol. Isn't this fun?
Oh, that is high bank, short track at its best. There's LaJoie in second spot. There's McLaughlin right on his bumper. Then comes Kyle Petty. Pardon me, Michael Waltrip. Boy, it is getting better and better. Hard to believe. After 213 of 250 laps, it is getting heated up here on the high banks of Thunder Valley. Back with the finish in a moment. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, high above Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. Less than 30 laps remain. These beautiful shots from high above this complex, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Cam. Giving you great overhead photographs. Those of you expecting horse racing, you will see it in its entirety at the conclusion of this race some 29 laps from now. That's the Thrifty Car Rental Racing Across America Stakes, featuring the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes and the Arkansas Derby. That's coming up in its entirety at the conclusion of our Busch Series NASCAR action from right here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
And McLaughlin took a look on the inside of LaJoie. He might have him. Here he goes. Put 34 on the second place on the scoreboard.
The question is, does McLaughlin have enough time and enough race car to run down Jeff Burton, who's got about a 15-car length advantage?
Oh, he got a crash.
Get on the back straight.
Jeff Fuller, also Greg Sachs, and heavy contact with a points leader, Todd Bodine.
And they're wrecking back behind them.
That's all for today.
Back in the middle of the backstretch, there's more cars involved. Mike Wallace involved.
Shane Hall's involved.
Hey, Jeff.
The Sachs is the 45 car, Fuller the 47, and the point.
Are you okay?
Todd Bodine is 36.
We're better get down there and check, Jim. He's okay. Jeff, you okay? Don't go out there.
See Jeff Fuller taking.
He got the window net down. He's taking his helmet off. He's all right.
Spotter trying to talk to the crew about Jeff Fuller, see if he's okay, and the crew said his helmet's off and the window net's down, and now Todd Bodine is locked in. He can't get forward or backward.
Yeah, the wall's in the way at the back, and the car's in the way at the front.
There's Greg Sachs out of his car. Fuller climbing out. Todd Bodine getting unbuckled. Let's see if we can see what happened.
There we see, there's 48, Larry Pearson on the inside of Greg Sachs. Now Jeff Fuller comes along in the 47, and he and Sachs are going to make contact right there. and they both spin. The 8 car in the back of the 45 car, he goes by. Trickle is able to go by. Now, the 36 car, evidently someone ran in the back. It looks like someone ran in the back of the 36 and spun him down the backstretch. Let's see if we can see. It looks like someone got in the back of the 36.
Looked like the 3 car of Steve Park.
Pretty heavy contact of those 2 cars.
There's the 3 of Steve Park, who was trying to get his car slowed down.
And we see the damage on the right front of the 8 car.
Right here, you see there's damage on the right front of his car. I'm sure that when he saw all that happening, he slowed down, or at least the 36 car slowed down, and probably Steve Park did too, but people were hitting from behind, and there's Todd Bodine walking away, and disgusted naturally.
Boy, we came into this race with a slim 60-point lead over Randy LaJoie. Take a look at the top 10 and the points coming in here. Todd Bodine had a 60-point lead over LaJoie. Parsons was just 13 back. Jeff Green in the car number 8, who's now being shown in 8th spot, was back in 4th spot, and Trickle was 5th overall in points. He is currently 6th, and the guy who was leading the points is standing by with Kyle Petty.
Yeah, I'm here with Todd Bodine. You did exactly what we talked about you had to do earlier in the day. You just had to bide your time, keep your nose clean. You were running up there in the top 10, and then this happens. What happened out there exactly?
Well, I'm not sure how Greg got sideways, but he got sideways up off the corner, and I saw it, and Stephen Parks behind me didn't see it, just run into me a little bit. I mean, it wasn't intentional or nothing. That was the worst set of tires we had all day, and the car was really a handful. I was just trying to hang on for the end of the race, and unfortunately, Standy Pontiac didn't make it, and it's not going to be good for the points, I tell you that. I'm not sure if, you know, I grew this beard for the Harley ride, and I told my wife I wasn't going to change anything until our luck changed. I should have shaved before the race.
Yeah, I tell you what, when you're running for the championship, don't ever change anything. Like Todd said, he was trying to do everything he could do to do the championship thing, and he was right in the position. Things just happen sometimes.
Boy, eight consecutive top 10 finishes in the first 8 events of 1997. I guarantee that beard will be gone in less than half an hour. He gets a DNF here at Bristol. And don't forget horse racing coming up next. Our thrifty car rental racing across America coming up next at the conclusion of our Busch Series action. Horsepower here on the high banks of Thunder Valley. The conclusion when we come back. Stay with us. Our speed road coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series More Snacks 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Channel Lock, for you who want the best. By Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. And by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. A lot of racing coverage coming your way later today. Our NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour show, 6 o'clock Eastern time. That final scramble, wild 1 hour of preparation, final practice for the Winston Cup cars. Then RPM tonight with Kenny Mayne at 7 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce. Our coverage tomorrow, RPM today, 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. The Grand Prix of Argentina, 11:45 a.m. And then NASCAR today from right here at Bristol Motor Speedway at 12:30 p.m. We will set the stage for the 37th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500. Our live flag-to-flag coverage comes your way at 1 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Kyle Petty is caught up with Jeff Fuller. Kyle?
Well, Jeff, this place was kind to you last year. This was a great, you got your win here. You got your first win, as we saw earlier in the show. You were one of the guys that got your first win here. But this backstretch has not been kind to you today. You've been down it backwards 3 times. What happened this time?
Well, the Sunoco 360 Chevrolet was running great, first of all, and I did a couple 360s for the sponsor, but we were fortunate then. This last time, Greg Sachs moved up and let a lap car by, and I got in there, and somehow we just got together, hit, and the car got out from underneath me and hit the wall here pretty hard, but I'm all right, and, you know, the crew did a great job. It's just a shame that, you know, to be running the top 5 like that for something like that to happen.
Well, these guys come in here with high hopes, and they're going to take home a wrecked race car, but they'll be back because he was getting around this place good.
Boy, a tough break for Jeff Fuller. Had a great moment here last August. The word is that the leader may be complaining of the car running a little bit hot under the caution flag. You see him bobbing back and forth behind the safety car, behind that Ford Mustang up there. That is the track gear Ford. Bill, how about Jeff Burton?
Well, let's find out. I'm right here next to Buddy Parrott, and crew chief Tommy Morgan is here too, so let's find out. First of all, how's your car? Is it okay? I know the pace car seems to be going a little slow.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to pick up the pace of the track here for it and go a little faster. Get these laps over quicker.
Can you hold off the 34? Jeff had just told you that the car was coming in.
Yeah, it's trying to get better every lap, he said. Then his caution comes out again. Another short run on us.
And that's not what you wanted.
Now, we like to see it go green flag the rest of the way.
All right, great run for you again. I know you were disappointed last week at Texas. Might get it back today.
Yeah, we'll try our best.
Okay, Tommy Morgan, he's the crew chief on the Busch car. General manager Buddy Parrott also here. And they've also been talking to the Cup crew for the 99 Exide Ford for Sunday. So they're racing today and studying for tomorrow.
Okay, learning a lot about what's going to happen tomorrow. What's going to happen a little later on at the conclusion of this event is horse racing. Coming up next, the Thrifty Car Rental Racing Across America, featuring the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes and Arkansas Derby. That's coming up in its entirety at the conclusion of our NASCAR Busch Series event. And, of course, ESPN2. We will have our happy hour show coming up from Bristol Motor Speedway at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. When we come back, the final 18 laps of Busch Series action. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, final laps of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Moore's Snacks 250. Beautiful shots from high above this Rose Bowl of racetracks. 118,000 seats, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Cam. Giving you great shots, even replays from these shots above the racetrack. Now, the car number 8, this car here, Jeff Green, drove through that accident a moment ago, had some minor damage. Watch Jeff Green. He stays in the throttle. That may have saved him a race car.
Comes off the corner. We see the 47 makes contact with the 45. The 8 car has no place to go. All of a sudden, the 45's in front of him. The 8 car just stayed on the gas, and when the 45 left, he drives on. There was some damage to the right front. He had to pit. They pulled the fender off the tire, but looks like it's clear. Now back to Green. Can Jeff Burton hold on?
And the 8 car back in 12th place. Hermie Sadler pitted a moment ago. He is in 13th, the last car on the lead lap.
Well, actually, the 8 car had to go to the end of the longest line because he pitted before pit road was open, and so Hermie Sadler moved up to 12th as a result of that.
All right, less than 15 laps remaining here at Bristol, Tennessee.
And look at that 9 car. He just has pulled out to a 10 car length advantage on McLaughlin. That's Jeff Burton, the 9.
And a blown tire on Shane Hall's car number 85, the Bama machine.
And he stopped on the racetrack.
Caution. Up on the banking in turn 2 as the field comes by. Elliott Sadler just moves down and sees Hall's car sitting there. And caution will come out for the 8th time here at Bristol, Tennessee. Well, we're going to have a shootout with less than 10 laps to go once the car number 85 is removed from the racetrack. There's the Bama Jams and Jelly Chevy Monte Carlo of Shane Hall. Had a great qualifying effort here. Started in 6th position.
And we can see the left front tire is completely flat, and it's dragged. The bottom of the car is dragging the racetrack, so it really won't move. It's kind of hung on the racetrack. They'll probably have to get a wrecker out there, pick up the nose, and haul the car back to the pit area. There's the leader of the race, Jeff Burton, the 9 car.
Now the car beginning to roll slightly down off the racetrack. So caution for the 8th time today due to the incident involving a cut tire on the left front of the Bama Chevy Monte Carlo. We'll take a break and come back with the finish from Thunder Valley in a moment. Under caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway due to the tire cut down on the car number 85. Now Shane Hall is on pit road. They will change that left front tire and try to get him back on the racetrack. Less than 10 laps remain.
So he was able to drive the car in, did not have to take the wrecker out, and they're going to look under the car and see what might have caused that left front to go flat. NASCAR officials give the signal 1 lap to go. They go back green flag. This time there will not be any lap cars in the way. They'll line up all the lead lap cars nose to tail as they restart.
We talked about points. Now, as of now, if you just joined us, Todd Bodine, who had a 60-point lead coming in, his car is through for the day. He currently sits in 28th position, and as they run these last 2 laps, he could fall even further behind. And right now, he has lost the point lead, Randy LaJoie. You see how the points as of now, if awarded, would change the top 10, with Mike McLaughlin gaining 3 spots and now entering the top 10. Getting set for a restart here. Final laps of the Moore's Snacks 250. Jeff Burton looking for his first win since June of 1993 in Busch Grand National competition.
Boy, Hermie Sadler got a great start, but he almost got in a wreck. He jumped up on the outside back there and passed the 00 car. But now that's Buckshot Jones. Now Buckshot got back by him because the one car got in the wall.
And Jeff Burton once again pulls away to a 5 or 6 car length advantage.
And the one car has cut a left front tire. He is slowing in turn 2 as these laps wind down. Traffic trying to go by him. That early jump, something dragging beneath Hermie Sadler's DeWalt too. That's the rim as the tire has been shredded by being cut on the left front. Now he is up high, caught on the outside with less than 5 laps to go, trying to get to the inside to be able to get the pit road.
And now he's finally knocked an oil line off the left front of the car. There's our leader of the race.
Hermie Sadler's car is on fire.
And oil fire erupts in Hermie Sadler's car. Down the backstretch, Hermie trying to get the window net down, trying to get out. They put out the caution flag so they can get the fire crews over there. Now the window net is down. He's trying to get the braces off, get the helmet unhooked.
See, he got so many things. He's still got things hooked to him. Now he's finally got everything unhooked, and he jumps out of that thing, says, let me off. And the lance crew runs over the fire extinguisher.
They have gotten Hermie out of the car. Now the fire trucks come up there as they got the race cars slowed down very quickly with the caution coming out to extinguish the fire on the DeWalt Chevrolet. What a tough break. Hermie Sadler, who was our pole sitter here today, fastest qualifier, and led him down to the green flag. Looks to be none the worse for wear, but a frightening moment there as fire erupted inside his Chevrolet.
Ned was talking about on the restart. I think he and the 00 made contact going down in the corner and probably knocked the bow stem off the left front. We're waiting for Hermie Sadler to come into our picture here. Oh, there he is. This is after the tire's gone flat.
Yeah, and here you see the fire erupt. As you said, it probably an oil line broke.
I would guess it knocked an oil line off that car. And I'll tell you what, that's enough to be concerned. Hermie, I'm glad you decided to get out of that car because it was time.
You saw him jam on the brakes. All 4 wheels started sliding to try to get the car stopped. He realized he had no choice as the white and yellow flags waved to Jeff Burton, signifying the final lap. And this race will end under caution as Kyle Petty is caught up with Hermie Sadler. Kyle?
Hermie, you had a great car today. You got caught a couple of times. You couldn't get in your pit stall one time because of the oil. You had to run on those old tires, and then it all comes down to this. I know you started number 1. You wanted to finish a little bit better than this. What happened out there?
Well, we had a great restart. We come in and got tires, and on the restart, some of the guys jumping up went up on the outside and got a couple of them. And I think Phil probably didn't see me, was trying to get up in line and pitch me off into the wall, and we caught a tire down. And then I just tried to stay there finishing the race, but can't run on a flat tire at Bristol. But we're showing some promise. Qualifying's good, and try him again in Nashville next week.
He'll be back, guys. Winners in turn 3, or by now he's taking the checkered flag.
All right, 29-year-old Jeff Burton makes it 2 in a row. 1 Winston Cup race, 1 last Sunday in Texas, and now he makes it 2 in a row by sweeping the Busch race as he takes the checkered flag. His 5th career Busch Grand National win, his first since June of 1993. That one coming at Myrtle Beach. He wins the Moore's Snacks 250 under caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
You know, it's right interesting, Jerry. Back in 1991, Dale Jarrett won his first Winston Cup race at Michigan, came to Bristol the next Friday night and won. It's just interesting that you go from winning your first one to a tough racetrack like this and win a Busch race.
Now we'll show you the car number 1. Now that's what produced the caution flag with just a couple of laps to go. Here's how he cut the tire.
Okay, he got a good start up on the outside as they were getting the green flags. He gets up on the outside. He had already passed the 00 car, and he got up there and he got pinched into the wall, as he said, and that's where I guess he cut the tire.
Now the tire was cut and going down. He's on the rim, and now as he's trying to get around the racetrack, as Benny Parsons said, apparently he cuts an oil line.
I would guess that the tire disintegrated and tore an oil line off. The oil goes on the headers, which is about 1,500 degrees. and obviously an oil fire breaks out. And Hermie says, let me out of this thing. And there's so much thing. You have your radio hooked to your helmet. You have a chin strap that goes around, hooks to the helmet. You got to get all those things loose before you can get out of the car. But you're in such a haste that you forget some of those things.
Let's go down to Bill Weber, who's standing by in victory lane.
And Jeff Burton has wheeled into victory lane, and of course his wife here, Kim, again to help him celebrate. Jeff still sitting in the car. A great win for him coming off the Winston Cup win at Texas last week. Now celebrates here at Bristol. Getting ready to climb out, getting congratulated from his crew. And here comes the winner of the Morris Snacks 250 here at Bristol, Jeff Burton. Still talking it over. A lot of choreography in this. And here comes Jeff. And of course, that's the best part. Congratulations. Victory lane 2 weeks in a row. Last week in the Busch race, your crew was as disappointed as your Winston Cup crew was excited because you didn't get to victory lane there, but you're here today.
Well, I feel like I've taken a few away from this Busch team. They deserve one before now, and we don't let this one get away. It's pretty amazing that things happen. You work so hard to get things, and you have 2 wins in a matter of a week. It's pretty incredible.
My favorite part was when you had to get by Mike Wallace, and you and LaJoy split them. There were 250 laps of fun, but that was pretty thrilling.
Well, Mike was doing his best to get back in the lead lap, and I didn't want to get into him, but it got to the point where, okay, this is going to lose me the race, and I had to go. And I'm glad nobody got into a wreck, but I had to go.
Jeff, you talked a lot about how you weren't sure you could finish. Maybe your confidence wasn't shaken, but this is certainly a back-to-back boost for you. It's got to mean a lot.
Well, it does. It's been an amazing week, to be quite honest. This Busch team has deserved to win all year long. We came right off the bat running well with it, and it's good to finally get them one.
Okay, well, we started with his wife celebrating his first Busch win. He celebrates his latest Busch win here at Bristol.
Indeed, celebration continues for the family. Burton, as you look at the results, there is Jeff Burton in victory lane. His first win in 1997 in Busch competition. Guys, what a show. Typical Bristol.
Typical Bristol. We see there the winner and on down the top 15, 16 through 30, Ned.
Well, we saw that Mike McLaughlin finished second. You wonder if he hadn't got blocked in the pits, if he got out in front of the 9, would the outcome been different?
Take a look at the Busch Series point standings after 9 races now of 30, and they will change. LaJoy atop the points, Bodine back in second spot. Phil Parsons hangs on the third, and there are some changes back through the top 10. But Mike McLaughlin now moves into the top 10 in 9th position. Incredible show here. Coming up next, Thrifty Car Rental Racing Across America featuring the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes and Arkansas Derby. And don't forget, coming up very shortly, our happy hour coverage from right here at Bristol, Tennessee. Tomorrow, RPM today, 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. The Grand Prix of Argentina at 11:45. NASCAR Today, live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 1 o'clock, our flag-to-flag coverage of the 37th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500. Remember, happy hour coming up very shortly on The Deuce on ESPN2. For Bill Weber, Kyle Petty, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating Jeff Burton on his first Busch win of 1997. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everyone, from Bristol.